Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whenever you are watching this. This is the Brew Sports World webcast. I'm Iron Man Herb Bailey. Charlie Harper Mug is here, always very close by. You have reached the fastest growing and moving sports laid-back webcast in the cyber community today. It's June 13th, 2018. I'm glad that you have joined me for the ride here. And we're going to talk a little bit about some dilly-dillies. We're going to talk about Pete Maravich. Might even throw in Dennis Rodman. Thank you to all who watched last week's webcast. We got over 5,000 initial views. Covered most of the United States, 11 countries, even Singapore. How cool is that, huh? So, you know, I'm sure Trump and the North Korean leader there, name's escaping me now. Oh my word. But I'm sure that they got most of the press. But we're going to talk a little bit about sports right now. And what's in the headlines today, huh? What do you think's in the headlines today from the Post-Courier sports page from Charleston, South Carolina? Yes, the Red Sox sitting in first place, tied with the Yankees. Red Sox have the most wins in the major leagues. It's just a great start of the season for my team, and I think that they definitely will be for real the whole year. I think they might even throw in a trade at the deadline to maybe trade Jackie Bradley Jr. for Adam Jones. That's what I'm throwing out there. We'll see what happens. Other things happening. The Atlanta Braves are in first place. They impressed me when the Red Sox played them a few weeks ago. They're a young team that did it right. They had some lean years, but the young players are now starting to play, and they're in first place, one game ahead of the Nationals. So good stuff. Let's see. Jordan Spieth is a mini slump going into the U.S. Open. I think that he'll rebound just nicely. Congratulations to the Washington Capitals. Big celebration in Washington, D.C. That's the headlines. Some dilly-dillies. Dilly-dilly. To Mookie Betts leading the major leagues in all-star voting. Dilly-dilly to Mookie Betts. And I think that he is the second coming of Willie Mays. I think that we're going to see a lot more of Mookie in the years to come. I don't think he's peaked yet. And so, dilly-dilly to Mookie Betts. Dilly-dilly to the Washington Capitals and the Golden State Warriors, because you have finally, and I say this with great pleasure, ended the season for the winter. I really am tired of seeing hockey and basketball when it's June. So, but dilly-dilly to them for winning the titles this year, and now they enjoy a summer with the championship. Dilly-dilly to the World Cup. World Cup starts next month, and even if you're a light-hearted soccer football fan, the World Cup's to watch. It's going to be exciting. The whole world watching it. So that's the thing to watch. And who's going to follow Brad to the pit of misery this week? I'll tell you who's following Brad to the pit of misery this week. It is Dennis Rodman. I have a Dennis Rodman story. He showed up at Singapore thinking that he was the one that brought the two world leaders together. I was in Elmira some years ago, and I worked with the Elmira Bulldogs semi-pro basketball team, and they decided tonight it was a bad idea to bring Dennis Rodman in for to coach a couple games in First Arena down there and fill First Arena. Well, if they didn't fill First Arena, hardly hundreds of people just showed up. And instead of doing some charity work while he was there, he was drinking in Corning, New York, and Elmira, New York, and it just was a bad scene. So, follow Brad to the pit of misery there, Dennis Rodman. Pete Maravich story. You ready? Are you ready? Pete Maravich, there he is, Pistol Pete, finished his career with the Boston Celtics. And with the Boston Celtics, he was just sitting on a bench barely. He didn't do too much. And then they played in the Harvard Superstar 3-4 games a year, so the Harvard crowd could see the Celtics. And I remember he was sitting on the bench, and I had seats like a few rows behind the bench, and all of a sudden the crowd starts chanting, "We want Pete, we want Pete." And I remember Coach Bill Fitch turned around and looked at us like, what? Come on. And the crowd got louder. "We want Pete. We want Pete." Finally, Pistol Pete Maravich, one of the greatest of all time, came in and played for the Boston Celtics, and I got to see him live. And that was a cool moment for a sports fan, and I enjoyed that. So just all you young people that don't know who Pistol Pete Maravich was, he was one of the greats. One of the greats. So if you are on Facebook, can you like the pages, the Low Country Sports Today and Fitness Positivity? I put stuff on there, and I'd be more than happy if you like those pages. And please, on my YouTube channel, Bailey Brew Space Sports Chat, subscribe to it. Click on the bell button when I'm on, and let's get thousands upon thousands of subscribers to the Brew Sports World. And let's grow this and grow this and grow this. So this is Iron Man Herb Bailey, giving you the pep pop of love. That's right, The Rock is not the only one that can do it. Get those workouts in. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.